Hey guys, welcome back to another video, another career mode FIFA 19 related video. As you know, I'm very concerned that the next 12 months, not just for my channel, but for all channels that do career mode content on YouTube, that it's going to be very difficult for us. I can't go into too many details about FIFA 19 itself. I've played the beta for about 15 hours, and yes, I'm British. I say beta, not beta. So apologies if you don't like that. But after 15 hours or so of playing it, there are some nice little things in there, which obviously I can't talk about. But there are also some big concerns for me, which I can't talk about. But you get the idea. You know where I'm going with this. You saw my last video about bringing in a database editor into FIFA, which I think would be a massive help. This video is similar, but I'm going to be talking about 3 things that I think actually could save not just career mode in general for the future, but actually could potentially save FIFA 19 career mode, because what I'm about to talk about, I reckon could easily be patched into the game within a month or 2, maybe even before the game comes out. They could somehow put this into the game. And it could be huge for us, especially the YouTubers that create content. These things I'm going to talk about in this video are more geared towards the creators. So it'll be great for players to have as well, but I should put that out there. If you're watching this now and you're just a career mode player and you like watching it on YouTube, you should still listen, because it's good stuff. It could be good fun for you guys to play as well. But if you're a YouTuber watching this video and you make career mode content yourself, which I think is great, we need more of us. We absolutely do. But this video is more geared towards us, to give us something to give our viewers, to make things a little bit more interesting. So 3 things. That's all this is. 3, not even features really, just 3 changes that could absolutely change FIFA 19 before it's even come out. And if it can't be done in the next 6 weeks, which is what we've got now until launch, it should be, I think, relatively easy. I mean, I'm no developer, I'm not a software engineer, but I'm pretty sure a company worth as much as EA, with the amount of resources they've got, they could get this done. So if you're an employee watching this from EA, please don't take it the wrong way. It's just, it's fair criticism. I think everyone knows, and I'm sure a lot of EA employees know, that career mode feels like it's been neglected for a while now, and we just want to help you help make it better. So let's start off with the first thing. So I've got a little list here, so forgive me if I look down, but the very first point I want to make, and it's not just me that has said this many times, but the way potential works in career mode, personally I think it's not too bad. I don't mind having a set potential with a player. Most players, when you see them playing well early on in their career, you can tell whether they're going to be a good player or not, and you know that at some point they will reach a certain height in their career. You could see it with Neymar. When he was a teenager, everyone knew he was going to be something special. So with the current potential system in the game, that kind of works. Neymar has, a 94 potential. He will reach 94. Regardless of how well he plays sometimes in your matches, he will reach 94 because he's just got that quality. But it only works in that situation. It doesn't work in a situation where you might not know who the player is, how good that player is, and how far he could get in his career. We need to change the way potential works to make it a little bit more unique and a little bit more interesting every time you play the game. Every time we start a new career mode, we have the same god tier players, the players that have 90 potential or more. That is a problem. It gets stale very quickly, and it's been the same for a long time. So here is the idea, and I'm sure you guys know what's coming, but you just switch the way potential works. You go from a maximum potential, which is what we've got now, and change it to a minimum potential. It's not hard to implement, I don't think. After all, it's just data. All you need to do is switch. Let's use Neymar for an example. His max potential, I believe, is 94, and he's, 92 rated in the new game, maybe 93, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he's not the best example, actually. Let's just go with a young English player. He's 65 rated in League 1, let's just say. His max potential in the game is 80. He's going to reach 80 no matter how much you play him. After a few seasons, he will hit 80 rated. that doesn't make sense, because you could bench him for the entire 3-4 seasons leading up to him reaching 80. He might not play at all, but still reaches 80. How is he gaining experience, getting better at the game? It doesn't make sense. So if you gave him, instead of a max potential of 80, but a minimum of 70, you can easily go past it. Sure, he could get to 80 rated if you play him enough, and if he plays well and he gets good ratings after each match. That makes more sense. If you give them a minimum potential, that is how good they can be with minimal effort. That's just how good they will be. But with training, but with playing well, with experience, with age, he will get better the more you do those things. The more you play with a player, the better they will be. So let's take that 65 rated midfielder and put him in two different situations. He gets a big move to Barcelona, and he gets a somewhat big move to Bolton. In the Bolton team, he plays week in, week out, gets a couple of assists, a couple of goals. At the end of the season, he's 75 rated. That's because his minimum was 70 and he's played well. Put him in at Barcelona, doesn't get a game, nothing. No games, no minutes, no experience, nothing. His overall should stay the same, or maybe just creep up towards that 70 mark, which is his minimum. Because he hasn't played, he's not going to go up to 75 like he would have in the Bolton team. Hopefully you guys know where I'm coming from with this. It's very simple. You just switch the way the potential works from a maximum to a minimum. That's it. There are very, very silly players in the game that have a max potential of 91, 92, and they get there regardless of what you do, and that is silly. That's the best word I can use for it. It's just silly because it doesn't make sense. A player in real life is not going to get better by sitting on the bench and watching the first team play. So let's have minimum potentials put into the game, and I'm sure that can't be too difficult to do. Yes, there are a lot of players in the game, and I'm sure that it would take someone, or at least a team of people, a few days at least to manually go through each player and set their potential to a minimum rather than a max. And even if it's a little bit odd at first, and some people think that player ratings are wrong, the minimum's wrong, you can update it as the career mode goes along. You know, you guys update the squads pretty much every week throughout the cycle of FIFA. Just use that weekly cycle to adjust these. You can get it right very easily, and let the community help. We watch a lot of football. I would give up a day of my week if you want. I'll personally write down in a spreadsheet what I think some of the minimum potential should be for certain players. And I will find many other people from different countries who, you know, are experts, let's say, in their nation's league, and they can give you their suggestions. And if they're wrong, you can tune them. It's surely not that difficult to implement something like that. So that's number one. Maximum potentials removed, minimum potentials introduced. Simple as that. The next thing, which might be a little bit too soon to implement, I would understand if this is something they need to patch in, but with the training mode, I like it, and there are some subtle changes to training mode in the beta which I can't talk about, but I can say that it is better than it was last year. They've changed some teeny little things. Nothing major, and I think there could be room for a little bit of improvement with very minimal effort. And that is, instead of just doing training drills to improve stats, let us change position. It doesn't have to be a major overhaul. It can be literally an extra button or an extra line of text or whatever it needs to be. When you're training someone to, I don't know, improve their dribbling, maybe when you select that, you can then say, would you like to train him in his opposite position from right wing to left wing? Or would you like him to go from right mid to right wing? Would you like him to go from right back to right mid? It can't be that difficult, and it doesn't even have to change their main position. Maybe it could just be added as one of their secondary or, you know, their third preferred positions. Every player has a preferred position and then a few more after. Well, not every player, but I think it's up to 4. You have 4 different positions playable for each player. Why not let us use that feature? I think, you know, for example, Bellerin, you know, I'm going to be doing an Arsenal career mode when the game comes out. Bellerin, for me, I actually think would be a really good right midfielder, let's say. Why can't I go into the training mode, which is already in the game, and when I train his dribbling, his passing, his shooting, Why is there not something there that maybe you guys could add, which allows me to add right mid as a second position, or maybe even a preferred position, actually change his position? Again, I don't see how this is going to be that difficult to add. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's actually really difficult to code into the game, especially in time for a release that's only 6 weeks away. That's fine. I don't believe that personally, and I would need to see some proof of that being that difficult that you couldn't even patch it in by October, maybe. Because where I'm at right now is career mode has a big boost when the game first comes out. The first 3-4 weeks, you know, us career mode YouTubers see a massive spike in interaction, in views, subscribers, likes on the videos, just general hype around the release of the game. And then suddenly, everyone's just bored. And it happens quicker every single year. If they could introduce something new in October, you would see that rise in interaction when it comes to these YouTube videos fall off a little bit and then boom, back up again because there's a new feature, a new reason to play. That would be great. We've never had a patch in career mode. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's never been a patch that has added something. Sure, there's been fixes, there's been tuning maybe, but there's never been a new feature come in mid-season, which would be great. I would love to wake up one morning and see a tweet from the EA team saying, "Good news, career mode fans, we've got this coming up in 2 weeks. Put the date in your calendar. You'll be able to train your players or whatever." It would be a great way to boost the numbers again. I would really appreciate it. It doesn't even have to be the position training. It could be anything. It could be just something fresh. I'm sure there's so many ways. I mean, if you gave me 20 minutes after I finished recording this, I could come up with multiple things that you guys could add that are very minimal effort, I would hope, into the game to generate some more hype when it's dying out a little bit. And position training, I think, would change the game for a lot of people because it gets boring. Having the same players in the same position, why not let us just play around with things? If I want to make a defender a defensive midfielder, why can't I? And I know there's always this argument that, well, you can just put them in CDM. It doesn't adjust their ratings. It doesn't do anything bad. It means you're playing them out of position, but nothing changes. Their stats are exactly the same. You're playing a centre-back as a CDM, but there's a lot of people like me that love the realism of career mode, that love the fact that you're managing a team and you're bringing players into your club and you're playing them in their correct position. I want it to be an official thing. When I bring in a defender who I think is really suited to be a CDM, let's say John Terry back in the day, he could have been a great CDM maybe. Why can't I do that with a youth player that I sign, or just someone that's 20 years old that I've signed as a centre-back, but I think I've got enough defenders, let's train him into a CDM. Why is this not a thing? It doesn't make sense to me, so maybe that's something else they can add leading up to FIFA 19, or at least within the first few months of it releasing. And the last thing, which is what I touched on in that last video, which I've watched back, I made some good points, but I was very upset at the time. I'd just got the beta and noticed how little was changed, and I felt like I needed to get it off my chest. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit more simply and a little bit less angry, I guess. And that's a database editor. And one point I failed to make in that video, which is probably the biggest point of all, yes, there is already an edit mode in FIFA, but you can't use it in career mode once you've started your save. Yes, you can go in to edit your players if you buy the catalogue thing, which it lets you adjust their shirts, you know, being tucked in or tight or loose or long sleeves. You can change their boots. But I'm talking the fully fleshed out edit mode that FIFA already has being available in career mode. That is one of the most simple things, surely. It's already in the game. You just unlock it in career mode. If I want to change my player's stats, if I want to go in and make Aubameyang a 95 rated centre-back, I should be allowed to do that. It's offline. I'm not playing against anyone else. It's just me in my bedroom playing FIFA. You know, it's really not a big deal if I want to make my team 99 rated halfway through a season because I'm bored. Why are we so restricted? Why do we have to back out, adjust everything in the menu, and then restart a career mode? It's been like this for too long, and every year I hope that the edit mode feature that's in the game, in the main menu, would be available in career mode. When it already is, it's there. It's right there. You're playing career mode. You can change your players' boots, their sock height, but you can't change vital things like position. I mean, if you did this edit mode in career mode, you could actually leave out the position training I thought about, because you could change their position in the edit mode. I'm just talking making it more official and more of a feature to train your players, right? Hell, even training mode gets boring. Just looking at the bar go up and, oh, he didn't grow this week. Oh, he grew this week. Yeah. It would be great to add training into that so you could change a player position. But if that's too much, and I understand, whatever, then bring the fully fleshed out edit mode that's in the game into career mode. Therefore, in the middle of a series, if I've signed too many defenders and I think it'd be better off having a CDM instead, I think Chambers is a great example for Arsenal. We don't know his main position. Arsenal fans really don't know what Chambers is at Arsenal. He's been loaned out this season, but let's say I didn't loan him out in my career mode and I thought, we're lacking CDMs. Let's make Chambers a CDM. I can't do that. There's no official way to do that. Yes, I could play him there, but it's not official. It's not real. It's not the realistic way of playing, right? So if I had edit mode, in between recording episodes, I could just go in, make him a CDM, and then in the next episode of my YouTube series, I can say, I've converted him to a CDM. I'm going to get better use out of him. It would be great. And being able to move players around freely so you don't have to rely on the transfer system. There's so many occasions in a YouTube career mode where a series of mine needed something new, something different, and I haven't been able to do anything because I'm so restricted. I could jump into the edit mode and change something. It would give us so much more creativity. Midway through a season, we could make a huge transfer happen. We could move Messi into the Premier League and just spark things up a little bit. These are obviously just examples, and I probably wouldn't do something like that, but I would definitely adjust stats and things like that before a career mode starts or at the end of a season, just to make things more interesting. Yes, the people that are watching this video that don't make YouTube series on career mode, they might not know this, but a lot of things in a career mode save might happen off screen. Not everything is recorded and shown in the video, you know, and there's a lot of things that I think YouTubers would like to do with their series that they simply can't because they're so restricted. We are so restricted with this game mode, and there is so much potential to not be restricted. It's offline. I would get it if this was Ultimate Team. Of course I can't go in and edit my bronze midfielder into a gold striker. That would be stupid. It'd be unfair. This is career mode. It's offline. If I do something stupid with my team, it's not going to kill someone. It's not going to affect anything. Let me do it. That's it. 3 easy features. Probably 2. Okay, you can take out the position training thing and just have the edit mode put into career mode so I can actually change positions myself. But while I've got you guys and potentially an EA employee that works on the game, the edit mode in FIFA, whilst it does its job, it is a bit poor. It's lacking some things. For example, I can't change a player to be a right winger or a left winger. All I can do is right mid, right forward and striker. Can we add the positions in? You can't do centre mid. You can only do cam and CDM. Where's centre mid? Be great if you could add that. Yeah, okay. I'm going to be finishing the video here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Very simple ideas that I really think could change the way career mode plays for the next 12 months. And from what I've heard, a lot of effort this year in development has gone into the gameplay itself, the core gameplay. And of course, the journey is coming to an end at the end of this FIFA cycle. So I'm hoping that in FIFA 20 at least, we will see some actual improvements, some big feature overhauls in career mode. So just for now, let's just add these things just for the next 12 months to keep us going. And then maybe in FIFA 20 we'll be looking at a completely different game. Probably not. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.